Delivering alternative rock pop tunes that get you up and dancing, three guys from Niagara Falls, Neil, Steph, and Phil, make up three-piece band XPRIME. They've toured all over Eastern Canada, have 3 records under their belt, and just signed their first record deal last year. For September's Band of the Month, I'm Chelsea Pop with XPRIME on 96.9 Radio Humber. How are you guys doing today?
Excellent,
Yay.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
Thank you for the introduction.
Of course.
Say my name first.
And my name second.
Yeah, I planned it out that way.
You mean last?
Oh.
No, just kidding. No, just kidding.
Oh.
Okay.
So, how did you guys get together and begin creating music? How did you start?
It all started many moons ago in high school. And, Neil and I had started playing music in grade 9. He was a bassist who played guitar, and I was a drummer. And then later we met Steph's younger brother and created XPRIME. And then we added Steph when we exited high school. And we were called XPRIME back in the day. We actually started off playing French music and slowly segued into the English songs you now know and love.
So what
or
caused...
loathe, I don't know what your opinion is.
What caused that change, though?
Pardon?
What caused that change?
Graduating from high school. So when we were in high school, we went to a French Catholic school called Jean Vanier, and if we wanted to be able to practice on school premises, we had to do our extracurricular activities in French. So we would write French music at school when we were in high school. And then we still had some after we'd graduated, but it's just easier to play shows, in Niagara to people, in the language that people speak in general. So,
No kidding.
Did you have a similar idea of what kind of genre you wanted to begin with?
Not at all. I think we started.
What was it? What we wanted to achieve at the beginning?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. We've had a lot of changes.
Yeah, I don't think there was. I think that's a big thing. Is there wasn't really an end goal. It's just kind of at the moment what you're kind of writing, and it can be a little chaotic maybe at first, like the kind of things that kind of come together that don't really stick together. But it's kind of neat to see what happens in the process and the kind of things you can come up with, and we found over the years that we've kind of been refining our technique, and it's we still have a broad kind of spectrum of sounds, but we've kind of refined it a little bit to make it a little bit more cohesive, which definitely on our upcoming album we can really tell is it's a little bit more focused. But I think it just kind of comes with time and age and practice.
Yeah, for sure. And speaking of the change, your first full-length album, The Album, is a collection of kind of quirky pop songs. Yeah. When this new record, PM, is more kind of alternative rock. Mm-hmm. How has your music evolved since the album was released?
Greatly, much better. No, that was just I don't know what our focus was at that point. I think we were just kind of listening to a little bit more poppy stuff and just kind of taking influence from that, and kind of shying away from some of the darker things for who knows what reason, and then you just kind of allowed ourselves to kind of do some of the heavier or darker themes that maybe we didn't visit at first for fear of being too heavy or too rock, which it's kind of funny because now that we're in that kind of alternative indie rock, it kind of just feels so much more natural and a little bit less forced, which is kind of a shame it took us so long to get here, but it's much better now that we are. So definitely happy with that.
Well, you definitely sound like you have a solid grip on your sound, especially with this third record. Did you have any specific musicians or other bands influencing you during the recording and writing process?
Yeah, there's a good amount.
Yeah, Arctic Monkeys, this is pretty obvious influence.
Yeah, I've actually seen that online, people commenting saying they can relate to Arctic Monkeys.
Yeah, Arctic Monkeys.
Well, they're right.
Yeah, they're one of our favorite bands, and collectively, them, Mother,
Muse,
bit of Muse influence, and even Arkells, still a little bit more on the kind of indie kind of pop rock, but
and the Beatles, a lot of people seem to still think of the Beatles,
and because we're very harmony based, or a very harmony based band, that kind of stems from, you know, when we do like Beatles covers and stuff like that. Just we're very influenced by that, and we kind of we really
gravitate sort of towards their vocal style.
Yeah, we really appreciate like that kind of style, and it's nice to be able to bring it to what we're offering too.
Cool. You three have been touring Ontario and Eastern Canada. What do you like about being on tour together, the three of you?
The smells.
No.
I'm just
Getting
kidding.
home.
That's the way.
Yeah, being on the road.
I mean, it's fun because we've sort of expanded in our group of friends to have people in almost every city. So it's almost like every city turns into a hometown the more we go to it. And
That's true.
you know, we'll go to Kingston, where we only started playing there a couple of years ago. And already now, you know, every time we're back, we meet people every time, even on the streets that just we happen to know and have become friends just from seeing them at shows and crashing on their couches and whatnot. And
and being on the road, it's kind of cool because you're kind of forced to spend a lot of time with each other, and so it's actually nice that, you know, after all this time and spending all this time together, you know, like sure you need your own space every now and then, but we're not like sick of each other where we want to kill each other, and that's, you know, it's a testament because, you know, if you only do a few little things here and there, you know, you get to go home and, you know, ignore the people, but when you're forced to kind of stay together, it's nice that we're not at each other's throats after, you know, like weeks of touring, which is which is a good sign. You know,
that's how you know it's love.
When I get annoyed, I just fall asleep.
So there aren't any negatives to being together all the time?
You hear the same jokes all the time.
That's mainly I have horrible short-term memories, so I repeat myself.
But
a lot.
other than that, no, just you know, being on the road, you know, as much as it's fun, it has, you know, you don't have the comfort of home and stuff like that. But
I do repeat myself a lot.
Yeah, and he does repeat himself a lot. Go on, Neil.
Repetition. It's full shop.
But yeah, it adds its, you know, ups and downs as well, and you know, it's a balance, right? And you know, as of late, it just seems to be getting better and better. Well, it's funny, we find over the last year or two, every time we seem to hit the road, it's like raining, like all the time. So it's kind of, yeah.
I haven't told them yet, but every time we leave for tour, I do the rain dance. And
Oh,
it's
wow.
Sound like you do.
I knew what you were going to say.
repetition.
Repetition.
It has been a trend literally since last September, since our tour last September. Every time we've been on the road in our van going to a show, it's rained.
But I think we broke the curse because these last 2 weeks, other than with the exception of one day where it rained for about a half hour, it's been beautiful. And so I think the curse is lifted, and I think it's shining light on our new project being what's coming out next year. So
Cool.
Nice plug-in.
the gods are favoring us, the many-faced gods.
So while you're on tour, you've played alongside some really great Canadian musicians, but who's been your favorite to play with?
Favorite Canadian?
Yeah,
That's a good.
preferably.
I would say it was the Arkells.
Yeah.
Because A, they were awesome and we got to watch them from backstage, and B, it was because it was at Osheaga, so that entire just experience was incredible.
And the Arkells just rock.
Yeah, and they're also amazing.
So playing Osheaga, do you have any other shows that were more memorable, or is that kind
More
of
memorable.
I want to say the
Can't
Keith
remember.
Urban show.
We
We played New Year's Eve at Niagara Falls.
I
And
still
opened
can't
for,
feel my fingertips. So
Yeah.
I guess that is more memorable.
In a way, it's more memorable in a different way. There was I think they said there was about 65,000 people there, and we opened for Lights, Keith Urban, Nick Jonas, and Shawn Mendes, and we were up first. But you know, everyone asks us if we met anyone, but it was like -12 with wind chill, and we're right next to Niagara Falls, so the mist is like turning to ice and then descending upon us. So it was really, really cold, right? New Year's Eve. So we just stayed in our trailer the whole time. But, you know, everyone's like, oh my God, did you meet Keith Urban? Did you meet Lights and all these people? We're like, no, we all stayed indoors.
Ate way too many pastries.
Yeah. Then played, 45 minutes full of pastries in the cold.
For the first 20 minutes, couldn't feel anything. It
Yeah.
was pretty bad.
I dropped a bunch of sticks, frostbite.
Jeez, guys, that's crazy. So you guys had a lot of milestones last year. You did Osheaga, you signed your first record deal. What are the plans for the rest of this year and possibly next year?
Right now?
Yeah, right now we're just sort of in pre-production for a new album. So as of last October or September, we've been writing just a ton of new material for this new album. And we've got about 15 songs demoed. We must have written over 20 songs, sort of demoed the best 15 that were like, these are great, album contenders. And right now we're just we're hitting the studio this October, and so we're laying a bit low, but we're starting our pledge campaign in September. So as of this September, you can go on xprime.ca or Pledge Music, and you can pre-order the album. You'll get downloads of, early downloads of certain singles, demoed versions, so you get to hear some of the songs first before it's even out, and a ton of exclusive content. And you pre-order that now, and it helps us, complete said album on time. And I think the expected time is February 2017. You can expect it out. So.
Okay, February 2017.
Yeah.
So right after everyone's broke from Christmas.
Yeah.
Perfect.
That's why you have to pre-order.
That's how you pre-order it.
Yeah. Maybe people can get that for their Christmas gifts.
Yes.
When does the
There you go.
pre-order start?
Pre-order starts in September.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, you already said it, but you can find XPRIME and purchase their music on xprime.ca, and can find out what they're doing and when they're performing on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at XPRIME the Band. Thank you, Neil, Steph, and Phil of XPRIME for being our September Band of the Month.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
I'm Chelsea Pop on 96.9 Radio Humber.